Everyone is programmed because we are all inundated with Archons, Astral Larvae. And these things come at people, man. We are all inundated with Archons. We are all inundated with Archons. We are all inundated with Archons. Honestly, like I think, and for the record, right now, anybody watching, Donald Marchall, garbage.
He's
These
garbage.
people are attention seekers.
Yeah, but
like, come at me, bro. Come at me.
What do you? Oh, yeah. No, you're calling him out. So here's the deal. But you don't think Donald Matthews, or what's his name, Matthews?
Marshall.
Marshall, yeah, Marshall. You don't think that he's maybe programmed or something?
I think everybody's programmed, and it's not as sinister as everybody thinks and everybody's talking.
That's interesting.
Everyone is programmed because we are all inundated with Archons, Astral Larvae. And these things come at people, man. We are all inundated with Archons. These things become people. It's no different than it was thousands of years ago, dude. It's a demonic possession type situation.
It is, and we're born with them. I mean,
if anybody thinks for a second that the Illuminati is a group of individuals who can orchestrate and execute the most implicable, sinister deeds on humanity, they're mixed up.
They really are, because it's not. That's not scientifically possible.
This just isn't what's going on, and from my experience as an experiencer, as a fucking my lab, whatever you want to call it, like I've had abduction experiences. These things are not extraterrestrial. And the only meaningful experiences that I've ever had, I'm not that I don't know everything, man. I'm not gonna act like I know everything. But I've had some fucking crazy shit happen to me that was outside of myself. Like, I realize most of the things that occur to us they're within. If you want light, you want peace, you want wisdom, it's from within, bro. But there are external sources. I don't know what those are. I still don't know what they are. But I know, because there was this intrinsic knowing that came with the experience. They are from here. They're not ETs from other planets. Those planets you can't even go to. Space is a fiction, dude. That shit is made up, bro.
I'm right there with you. I mean, I really hate to say this for the first time. I mean, it's not that I'm just now agreeing with you. It's that I've, I guess, been afraid to say what I think, and you know.
Well, in this field that we're friends with a bunch of people, dude, and it's like
that think they're going out into outer space and shit.
Well, yeah, and that doesn't mean that they're not in here.
Yeah, or their astral body might be going up there, but they're not getting. Listen, I don't know if you.
There's no out there. There's no out there to go, even in astral.
I know it. You know, in my latest song that I put out, it says, you know, yeah, it talks about the jump rooms, brother.
Hey, cut this part out. Hold on one second. Let me do some stuff. You say your song oh, I saw that. I listened to the song, man.
This is like a huge, like, I don't know if you can see like how big this is. I mean, it's like huge, you know what I mean? This big piece of, like, it's like what I looked at while I was singing the song. But, you know, it says, we're headed into a storm, it's plain for all to see. They're the masters of their ship, but not their destiny. And you don't need no spaceship ticket to go. They'll file into the jump rooms until the gold mines begins to flow. He's talking about them going into their jump rooms and shit. But right here when I make this reference to gold mines, people might think that's like the Anunnaki or something trying to get their gold. It says, until the gold mines begin to flow. You know what that reference is to? And that's a very obscure reference. There is a reference to gold mines from the Soviet Union when it's one of the sickest ideas in human history. But when either the Bolsheviks or when the communists took over from the Bolsheviks on the Russian Revolution, they had what they were called gold mines. And man, it's the sickest fucking shit you can imagine, dude.
Tell me about it.
Okay, a gold mine. This was back when the KGB was just being formed. What they were doing is that Russian Revolution was the sickest thing probably in human history. It was just wholesale slaughter. I mean, they had, like they'd go after Jews, go after gypsies and stuff like that. Any of your groups or racial groups or whatever that they have prejudice against, of course they'd go against them. But they just went against everybody. I mean, they just culled the entire nation, and what they needed gold and shit like that to buy weapons and to just fund the whole country. And so what they did is, and Stalin, this is what Stalin did. He's one of these young leaders. They just would commandeer a train, and they would just get this train going, and they just take the train down the track. And I mean, every village, every town, whatever it was that they came to, they would just take it over. I mean, just, there's no one there to stop them. And then they'd probably hire people on the spot, just kill your parents right there in front of you and say, hey, you want to come with us or whatever? I mean, it was that sick. But what they do is this. This is what a gold mine is back in those days. They would get, maybe everybody on a block or something like that, just do it block by block, and they just round them up with guns. And they take them and get everybody, women, children, husbands, and everything, people neighbors, everything. And they get as many of them in a house as they could. I mean, at gunpoint, I'm sure they would kill a few people and shit like that. To where you're packed in there literally like sardines. Everybody standing up in a house.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, a lot of times it was super cold, but you probably wouldn't be cold in that house because there's the heat from everybody's bodies. Okay. And then you know what they did? Nothing. They just sat outside there with guns and kept it locked and everything like that. And maybe some people tried to break out every once in a while or something. They got shot or something like that. But you're standing up. You can't sit down. You're packed in there like sardines. Well, it's only a few hours until people start pissing and shitting. Right? And
yeah.
And so, within the first day or whatever, like everybody's up to their ankles in shit and piss. And it just smells in there. And the reason that they have them in there is because you've got gold. We know that you've got gold, and we're not letting you out until you tell us where your gold is.
Oh, damn.
And so people would start telling where their gold was because a lot of them had hidden gold and stuff like that. But, I mean, a lot of people, just to get out of there, would just say that they had gold. And then, of course, the guys with guns would take them to where they said it was, and there wouldn't be any gold. They'd say, oh, it was here.
And they get capped.
Right, exactly. Or another thing, they turn them into living statues. It's so fucking cold out there. They could take
How's that?
It's so fucking cold over there in Russia and shit out there. They just take off all your clothes and throw water on you, and you freeze. The water will.
Oh, damn.
If you throw a bucket of water over there, it's so cold, it can freeze before it even hits the ground.
Better learn that Wim Hof method, son.
What's that?
You know Wim Hof?
No, is he the guy that gets in the real cold water?
Yeah. He's the guy that climbed Everest in his trousers, man, like in his boxers.
He's like some kind of yogi or something, isn't he?
He's dope as fuck, but it's not something foreign, dude. It's not like you can do this, I can do this. I was over this last winter, man, I got really into his stuff. And I was doing extreme cold exposure. It's just a breathing technique, kind of like pranayama. And you just, bro. And you jump in the shower, jump in a cold shower or ice bath for like 10, 15 minutes afterward. And it opens up all your capillaries. and oxygenizes your blood. You become alkaline. All this beautiful stuff happens with your system. It'll kill cancer. It'll kill all kinds of things, dude.
Wow.
So if you're trying to heal, yeah, do the Wim Hof method. The guy he's awesome, man. He's awesome, man. He's inspirational. Yeah, I guess what drove him to it was his wife committed suicide, and he was really lost and hurt, and looking for something. But I'm telling you, man, it's beautiful, and your mind feels well with it. It's a good exercise, man, and it's good stuff. But
do you
didn't
do
mean to cut you off.
No. Do you do any meditation?
Yeah, I work on it. It's it's increasingly hard. The one thing is, meditation's beautiful, and it's good for calming and for visualization and for attraction, all that stuff. But it's hard with all the screen staring we do these days as a people. You know what I mean? We're looking at screens 24/7, and this screws up our diurnal rhythms. That's why I'd be wearing shades. That's at this point it's like whatever, man, kind of fuck it. But I mean, tonight, right now, I'd rather be able to see your face and stuff sometimes. And my glasses got broke when I got in a fight.
Oh fuck, man, that sucks.
But no, but it's like you see, you gotta think of how humans survived for a long time, dude, and our bare feet belong on the ground. You know what I mean? We're electrical beings. We need to be grounded, just like any high power anything. That's important. You know what I mean? We need to ground our feet. We should be able to survive in the elements. It's funny if you know I hate the phrase, the powers that be, because fuck that phrase. You know what I mean? Like the powers that be are me and you.
That's right. Absolutely.
but if a big part of everything in these phones, like iPhones and shit like that, I stands for infertility. These are devices that are designed to fucking stop us reproducing. and they will. Like, look at Rudolph Steiner's work, man. Did you know the Waldorf school is all based on Steiner's work?
Yeah, I know. I'm practically a Steiner expert.
Badass.
There's a guy who became kind of my mentor, and his name is Edward Rowe Smith, and he's very big in the Anthroposophical Society, and he's written books about Rudolf Steiner. I mean, that's books that are like awesome books. I mean, he's writing books about a guy that writes books. It's that deep. Because,
badass.
You know, because Steiner, he's kind of in a way like Crowley, that you kind of almost have to translate what he's saying. Because he's so deep, and he even talks about how the English language and everything, it's not made, the English language was made to describe the physical world that we live in. It's not made to describe the supersensible world. And so describing the supersensible world with the English language is almost impossible.
Yeah.
But what's interesting about him, and one thing about my writing style that's a lot like his, this dude writes, and of course he wrote it all in German, but they translated most of it. But dude, he writes these sentences that are so fucking long. I found a sentence that he wrote that was 96 words long. And I kind of started taking after his style, and I have this novel. That has a sentence that's like crazy. I can't remember. It's like, I think it's over 50 words. You know what I mean? This dude puts out 96 word long sentence. This guy's got a lot to say. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, and Steiner's legit, man. I really like a lot of his work.
He's the shit, man.
So he predicted the technocracy and the AI takeover. And
I didn't know he predicted the AI takeover. I guess there's a lot of stuff I don't know about him, but there's the Anthroposophical Society doesn't. There's stuff that he teaches that they don't really advertise it too much because they don't want bad attention on them. You know, they don't want to get infiltrated or whatever.
Sure.
They kind of have a standing deal, I think. You know, not that they're, you know what I mean. They don't because they're not it. They don't talk about UFOs that much, and even though that's a huge part of it, and they don't. They like to stay away from conspiracies and stuff, and that, of course, that's a huge part of it. You know, so what are you left with? You know what I mean?
Yeah, man. I'm super fascinated with Steiner's work, dude. Yeah, for sure.
Hold on.
He also said this was back. When was he alive? What year was that?
I think he died.
1890?
He died in 1924, I think.
Right. So these writings were like 1890s, right?
Yeah.
And he said he said that 400 years from his time, the human race would no longer be capable of reproduction. I think that shit's going to happen a whole lot sooner in the West, anyway.
Well,
I think it's beginning.
Well, let me tell you, I have,
and thankfully so.
I have,
I'm cool with that.
What, that the human race has stopped producing?
I'm not cool with that. I mean, I see a lot of people that shouldn't reproduce. I guess I'm trying to say.
Yeah, there's a lot of soulless people. You know, it's hard to know what's going on. I mean, the idea, you know, there's the idea of racism, but then there's another idea that, hey, what if like 90% of the people out there aren't even real, or they're real, but they're just like
organic portals.
They're meat robots or something. You know, they're
organic portals. On the level of like reincarnation and soul beings, these people are like plants.
Yeah, and I'm not saying that
and there's a lot of it. That's the majority, I think.
Well, I'm not saying that my ex-girlfriend or whatever is one of these, but she is a portal of death. I was calling her an usher of death, but a man died in her house just about 3 weeks ago. A contractor that was working, he was working with his son, and he died, straight up died right there in her house.
Why don't you stay away from her, Ayin?
And he died, straight up died right there in her house.
Why don't you stay away from her, Ayin?
And he died, straight up died right there in her house.
Why don't you stay away from her, Ayin?
I probably shouldn't I?
Well, I mean, is she that sexy? You know, does she?
Oh my God, no! See, the thing, no. See, here's the deal. There's more than one psychics are saying that when they were created, like when people at one time people were created together, like two people would be created together. I mean, she's not like my soul, dude. There's two different psychics are saying that me and her have been together in so many lives. It's like unfucking believable. But I mean, maybe it's time to stop that. But I mean, her, it's weird, dude. No, I mean, and she's the most. It may
be time to stop that.
It really might be. Yeah, I just have to get over the fact that she's the most beautiful woman in the world. I mean, it's just unbelievable. And you know, when we hear about these presidential models with these monarch deals, dude, I did not even know that there was that level of sexuality and sexual just bliss. I mean,
that's another interesting thing about Aquino, dude. Do you think he's Gerald Ford's son?
I've never heard that.
I think his mom was Betty Ford.
Oh, wow. I've never heard that.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's worth it. I would like to ask him. I mean, I got no beef with Aquino, man. It's like
me neither. Hey, just
everybody hates him. I don't have anything to say about his Presidio allegations. And
I don't either. You know why? Because of respect, and respect isn't what most people think it is. Respect means, you know, like if you're in prison or something like that, and you're worried that somebody's going to beat you down, that's respect. That's real respect. If you're scared of somebody, that's respect, man. This other shit that they call respect, that's just fake ass respect, man. And I respect Aquino. I've got a standing rule, man. I ain't crossing that dude.
For me, it's not respect, and you could even like sum it up to jealousy or something. Like I wish I was that clever and fucking held it down like he does. And if that's not a compliment to my man, then
well, no, that is a compliment.
What.
I mean, I wouldn't I wouldn't give him that compliment just because I I don't know that I mean I don't think that I would like to be him. I mean, if
But
that's
honestly, all that, like we've talked about this a little before, man. Like all the evocation and stuff. Like, yeah, I'm not looking to be friends with these old ones. I don't want to make any deals with them. I'm not.
oh
There's
yeah.
there's that ceremonial magic is super fascinating, man. It's very intriguing, but I don't know. I don't know, man.
Yeah, there's always been something holding me back. I mean, here I am, Mr. Magician, and I can't even do the lower banishing ritual, without looking at the book.
Yeah. Right.
So that I ain't ashamed. I used to kind of be embarrassed about that or what. I'm not anymore. I mean,
Yeah.
fuck it.
Yeah, I don't know. That's one thing. I mean, the lesser banishing, it's like, yeah, that may be beneficial. That's what the whole, when the Catholics do that's the lesser banishing ritual.
Oh yeah, well, I guess what the four, north, south, east, and
Yep.
west, or yeah,
Yeah.
ahead of
It's
you,
there.
behind you.
It's the Catholic, and it's the Catholic manifestation of the lesser banishing ritual
Right, and the
of
Knights
the
of
pentagram.
Malta, a secret
Fascinating.
society, and they're basically like the group that I'm in, who because I mean they make no bones about it, in the group that I'm in, they're like, okay, you are a Templar, we are like Templar Knights. I mean, actually, you don't hardly ever hear them say that, but it's in all the symbols and shit like that, and there's. And I've often wondered, sitting there at the some of the rituals and stuff like that, they don't do any, promotion. And then here we are and everything like this. It's like, okay, what are all these, Templar Knights and everything? And then I've just been sitting there before and thinking, oh my God, not everybody in here, but like maybe half the people in this room are Templars for real, or were in a past life. It's
That
something
was the
it's something weird like
that,
that.
that was the thing that Max and I had in common. He thought that he was Jacques de Molay.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
Did I tell you that?
No, you either told me that or I might be heard it in it. I know that you have told me that, but I don't know if I might have also heard it.
Well, look, here's the funny thing about like past life stuff. Like I know a whole fucking ton of people who say they're Mary Magdalene or Jesus Christ or fucking Joan of Arc and John the Baptist. You never hear about. Yeah, I was a fucking low life piece of shit.
That's right. And
And go on, yeah.
Christopher S. Jacobs, who he says I was some big shot or whatever in some life, past life, but it's nothing that anybody's ever heard of. But supposedly, according to Christopher S. Jacobs, I was one of the top advisors to Odin.
Oh, badass.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's hot, man. That's
Yeah,
hot.
and he got mad. He got mad at me a couple times because I would, it. I knew I was saying stuff that was obvious that he was like, going against or whatever. But he's also Christopher S. Jacobs has said that the same thing that happened to Odin happened to Lucifer, and they basically got taken over by this either an AI type of thing, an archontic type of thing. They got, but they eventually they eventually were redeemed somehow, or, but that also sounds like King Solomon, he got taken over by those demons or whatever.
Yeah, that's badass. I mean, that's legit. Okay.
That's just an archetype, I was like, you get to the heights of humanity to where you're almost like a god, and then somehow you have a big fall, and kind of like almost like Job or like King Solomon or whatever, and you're just going around. I don't know, man. It's weird,
Yeah, man. I mean, yeah.
And then
That's interesting.
who is Odin? And here's what I think: there must have been there's probably been 100 Odins. You know what I mean? I mean, is there another Jesus? I mean, what's I mean,
Right.
not
It
that we've
makes
heard
you
of,
think
but
about
like
like,
a million
yeah,
years ago, was there another Jesus or something like that? I mean, I don't know what's going on.
yeah, right,
And
yeah.
I used to,
Emmanuel.
yeah, I used to think that Jesus was fake and that it wasn't real and everything like that. But
Uh-huh.
but I always kind of kept an open mind about it. But actually, I can make this confession. My first memory in life was denying our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. And then I remember personally, it was a personal experience. It's me alone in a room, and I was at church, and I saw the picture of Jesus, and he looks just like my uncle, blonde hair and blue eyes. I said, God damn, what's my uncle doing up there on the wall? And I said, oh, that, thinking to myself, that's Jesus. I said, that's not real.
That's not real.
That's not real.
That's Caesar Borgia.
Yeah. See, it is.
That's Caesar Borgia.
Yeah, that's who that is.
Yeah. Now, Jesus, as a man, I think came and walked and lived amongst men.
If he did, and if the Bible is right, and I talk about this with a lot of different Christians and stuff like this, if he did, and it's true in the Bible what they say that he was one like unto Melchizedek, then the title or the designation of man might not be so accurate, because it says in there, that he was one like unto Melchizedek, being perfect in his generations, having no mother, having no father. Okay, so you and me had a mother and a father. We're human beings, but he was an immaculate conception. He was a clone.
Well, what do you think about the CSF, about the cerebral spinal fluid, about the triumvirate, the alchemical fucking the mercury, sulfur, and salt? If you look at old depictions of the like the caduceus, the staff of Hermes, that's what alchemy's all about, man. Alchemy's all about that oil, that anointing oil, rising that oil. So, I mean, is that the Christos? Is that what he really represents? But he spoke some beautiful truths, man, and healed, and it's beautiful to think there was a man that came and expressed all this to people, whether they understood it or not. It's a shame that a bunch of followers don't understand or appreciate it or respect this story.
But one thing is, who brought us this story? And I'm not talking about the Catholic Church or anything. John Lamb Lashes figured this out, and there was a group of zealots, a very weird, very small Jewish sect called the Zadokine. They're the priests. They're the Zadokine priests, and they're called Zadokine because they're named after Melchizedek. It's got that, and that's just like the guy Melchizedek Drunlevo, who's alive in the world today.
Drunvalo.
He wrote the book, The Sacred Flower of Life, and he has meetings, and you can go join his cult, and they have their meetings, and UFOs show up every time. And one of my psychics is into that, and she thinks Merkaba is good, and everything like this, and she's
it's not bad. I mean, is it?
Well, I don't know, but there's even an idea put out by the George Kavasilis that the chakra system is not good. That everyone's trying to balance the chakra system and everything like this. Somehow the chakra system is some type of enslaving type of deal. How deep does all this shit go? That everything we think is good is really bad. That's
interesting. And there was a what's his name? The dude that did Dune.
Frank E. Herbert. Frank Herbert.
No.
The guy who wrote it?
Fuck me. Jodorowsky.
I don't know him.
Did, oh man. This guy did some super illuminated fucking films back in the 70s. And like some comic books. I haven't read this, but a friend of mine was telling me there was a comic book about how the pineal gland was an implant to imprison humanity. You know what I'm saying?
Right. I mean, we can't get one damn good thing, can we? Hold on a second.
Yeah, man. Hey, cut this out. I'm gonna go take a piss. Oh. Hey, brother. Give me a pause. I'm gonna go take a leak. You can put this on. I don't give a shit, but you can cut it out.
Yeah. I bet you see the pine cone, right?
Yeah, I know you be holding pine cones, nigga.
I have to pull it out every time you say that.
Fuck yeah.
All right.
Yeah, no, that's
I'm
beautiful,
going to
man.
take a break too.
Wardrobe change. Should I get a wardrobe change or something real quick? Should I get a wardrobe change or something real quick?
No, yeah. No, I went and took a lick too.
Yeah, right on.
Shit.
Yeah, I got my Sri Yantra. Shit, I don't know if you can see that.
What
Don't
is
want that on. It's cool. Nah, cut it out. Just a Sri Yantra
What is it, a symbol or what?
with a green quartz.
Oh.
It's can you?
I can see it. It's beads and beads in a quartz. It's wooden beads in a green quartz.
Yeah, this is turquoise and some wooden beads, and this is a Sri Yantra.
Oh, what is the green thing on it? It's a little stone.
Yeah, it's a green quartz.
Oh, green quartz.
That's like it's basically a Metatron's cube, but the Hindi version.
Huh. It just so happens I've got a bunch of stuff here in my pocket.
Nice. You got shiny rock.
Yeah, I got them today. They like kind of fell into my reality. You know, I got that. I got this.
That happens.
Yeah, a little red one there. Little
Nice.
purple one. Oh no, I got a purple one. These are just kind of like the ones where you go to a rock shop.
Is that lapis?
I don't know. One of them is like red jasper. You know, like what they call bloodstone. That red jasper.
Okay. Yeah.
I know what those are, and so I've got a couple of those. But even, I mean, there's a purple one right there. I mean, these are just like the little ones you get out of a little dollar basket. You know what I mean? But that looks like that almost looks like a green quartz, doesn't it?
Yeah. Yeah.
But I mean, it's probably not a. What does the type of green quartz you have? Does it have a special name or something?
I'm not a geologist, my man.
Yeah. I mean,
You know.
yeah.
Yeah, I dig the shiny rocks.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm about that. I mean, yeah.
In my last meeting with Christopher Jacobs, he pulled out this big old rock. It was a big old rock of selenium or selenite. It can be called either one, but it's actually one of your cheaper rocks. But it's kind of like a cross between quartz and like gypsum.
Oh, sweet.
Because you know gypsum that they make our walls with, it's basically like quartz. You know what I mean?
Is that all right?
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, that's cool.
All right.
But you know, gypsum, it's like you're living in a big quartz container right now just because of sheetrock. It's like
Oh wow, really?
Yeah, it's gypsum. It's just like a dirt. It's like cheap. It's just like the cheapest type of quartz there is.
Wow, man.
And they mine it, and then that's what they make our walls out of. But check it out. An idea on that. Why that might be. Okay, if it has, these quartzes and stuff have different properties, but one thing they can do is act like a Faraday cage. Well, and keep out, cosmic rays and shit like that, or keep out entities and demons. The idea being, and then you're thinking, wait, well, why does the government trying to protect us from, whatever demons and shit like that? It's because the competition. They don't want the other people whoring us out. They want us to themselves. You know what I mean? And they're
trying to read our thoughts.
Yeah, well, yeah, or their electricity. They're coming into our house anyway with electricity. So right. Everybody, the gypsum and sheetrock is keeping out the guys from the other neighborhood, maybe, or whatever,
Word.
Outer space or something. But
that's a cool thought.
Just an idea,
Yeah, that's cool, man.
It's not like they're they're protecting us like a farmer protects his sheep or a farmer protects his cows. You know what I mean? They don't want the predators to get them. It's not like that we're not going to get slaughtered. It's just they don't want us to,
Yeah, man. I don't know. They don't want to they don't want to slaughtered by another entity.
Well, no, exactly. And I think I think what's important to understand is this slaughter is an ongoing process. Not that people die every day, but that you and me are dying every day. I mean, that's they're milking us every minute of every day.
Yeah.
They're eating right now.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a trip, man.
Mm-hmm, it is.
It's a trip. After years of this, dude, after years of off grid and like swearing off the Babylon shekels and like, yeah, I don't know. At this point, like, I would like a valid driver's license. I would like a little money. You know what I mean?
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
it's
dude.
different.
Oh yeah. Oh for sure. Yeah. I mean, dude. Yeah. No, you've paid your dues for real, man. No, and then not only that, your whole deal with it. One of the reasons behind that is it comes to an end like what any day now, right? Or already has, or something. One of the
Yeah,
reasons.
it's like, yeah, I don't know, man. It's not all for the record, but it's whatever, man. It's whatever. Yeah.
Me too. I'm having the biggest struggle right now with driver's license and shit like that. Believe it or not.
It's just like, yeah, man. I'm sick of the Babylonian bullshit. Nah, I fought it for so long. Maybe I'm tired or something.
I think that's part of it. But not only that, we're also seeing to where, man, dude, it just helps to have money. You know what I mean? And not like I have any. I mean, literally, I went to pick up my friend at the airport, and I was like paying for gas with change and shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man. Yeah, that's rough, brother.
Yeah, but
I know it. I mean, that's me
at the same
too.
time, at the same time, I'm selling a property here in a few weeks for $250,000. You know what I mean? It's like weird,
Yeah, dichotomy in it.
Yeah, it's just weird, man. living over.
Yeah, such is life, dude. This is samsara, isn't it?
It is. I mean, it's just
Maya.
Yeah, I mean, they get you going both ways,
So, I'm interested in Yaldabaoth, man.
I think you already know probably more about him than I do. If you go to Sunday school,
you should, right? They don't teach that stuff at Sunday school.
Well, no, they don't. But I mean, that's definitely what it is, man. That's one reason I don't like talking about it, because it's like it's a very lonely feeling, being like one of the very few people really in the world that really truly understands what God.
Well, I don't know if I'm probably more familiar with the Bible than you are.
Well, I don't know. I've read. There's one year I was in solitary confinement in a jail. I was in solitary confinement for 11 months.
A year?
No.
Fucking A.
Oh no! I was in solitary confinement for 11 months, like in a 6x8 cell for 11 months by myself.
Bro.
And so yeah, you can definitely
11 months.
Yeah.
That fucks a man's world up, dude.
It can
10 days. 10 days, and I'm traumatized.
We're talking 10 months plus another month. It can definitely change.
The other night, bro, they took me to jail, and within like fucking 5 minutes, they came and let me out, and they sent me walking home. I was like, what? Because I got comfortable, you know what I mean? I've been in jail before, not knowing how long I'd be there. I laid back. I was just like, okay, here I am.
It wasn't bothering you, so they let you go. Almost. If you would have just been going,
I don't know, dude.
It's weird. I mean, jail is definitely one of those Matrix-like things. You know what I mean? It's like weird. But yeah, check it out. When I was in that solitary confinement for 11 months, I read the Bible 5 times from cover to cover.
Yeah, you comprehend it.
Well, I mean, what do you call comprehension? I mean, I picked up some stuff, that's for sure.
You remember which version you had? NIV?
Well, the thing
New King James?
Well, really the only one I quote-unquote believe in is the King James version. So
Amen.
It would have been that,
Amen Ra.
Amen Ra, yeah. Our Father who art in heaven, you know. Yeah.
Yeah. But no, it's full of truth, man. There's
Oh,
nothing,
no.
dude.
I'm a huge fan of the Bible. Don't get me wrong. Just because I'm not a Christian doesn't mean I don't like the Bible.
Yeah, and in contemporary terms, I wouldn't call myself a Christian either. But I believe in Jesus. I don't want to be wrong about that shit, man. Like, yeah. But you've heard, my thoughts, man. There's cerebral spinal fluid. Like, there's Abraham and Sarah. Abraham married Sarah. The alchemical wedding is cerebellum. That's Sarah and Abraham.
Right.
You
Oh,
know
yeah.
what I mean?
It's all
It's like,
etymology, a play on words, yeah.
yeah, there's a part in Revelation, I forget exactly what passage. It's like, he who sat on the throne, on his back were 7 seals, and he held a book, and on the spine of the book were 7 seals. It sounds like it's talking about the chakras. You know what
Right.
I mean?
Yeah, and then another, of course, we know anytime it talks about a mountain in the Bible, it's talking about like some spiritual aspect of some height, some spiritual height, and also
Beautiful book,
most of
bro.
the times when it's talking about thrones, and this is what Rudolph Steiner talks about. There is the angelic hierarchies. You got your seraphim, your cherubim, your
Oh,
angels,
that's
your
certainly there. That shit is real,
archangels.
dude.
Well, one of those is the thronos. So when it says that he sits on a throne, it doesn't mean that he's sitting on a chair. It means that he under him, supporting him, is a whole group of angels that are the thrones.
And I'm all about that. and the thing is, alchemically speaking, I mean, what governs the systems of our bodies are everything on the periodic table. You know what I mean? We're sulfur, mercury, and salt is what makes a human being. You know what I mean? That's like, and well, carbon. There's all kind. But I'm saying like our consciousness has to do with more than that, and the alchemical business of it is legit. Like, you can take any plant, any fucking animal in the world, in Malkuth, and you fucking and you condense it down to, see, I'm not a scientist. I probably have the wrong terminology and shit like that. So if somebody wants to judge me, come at me. I don't care. Like, teach me something. Teach me something, nigga. So, yeah.
From the fist-fighting state of Texas.
That's right. So yeah, man, I'm trying to learn stuff, but it's all that is evident, man. All that is evident. Like,
it really is. And you know what Steiner says about evolution?
tell me.
Everything evolved from us. We're taught in school, and everything's a total inversion. We're taught that we evolved from like animals and shit like that, and all that, and before that, plants and scum and pond algae and all that shit. And the truth is just the opposite. All that shit evolved from us.
Oh, amen, dude. Straight the fuck up.
Animals came from us.
That shit really bothers me, bro. This like evolution, like we spawned from some monkeys and stuff like that.
Yeah, like your great granddad is a monkey. That doesn't even make sense.
Come on, bro. Monkeys would still be becoming humans. It's like check this out, dude. I mean, if you look back, there's shit we cannot explain. And they're going out of their way to destroy this stuff. Well, they create ISIS to fucking destroy these old ruins and stuff, so we don't question how they got there.
Yeah.
No, man, our ancestors were fucking the purest magi. These motherfuckers were so fucking majestic that you can't even fucking comprehend, bro.
Yeah.
Like, these motherfuckers were
downhill.
so dope. And we want to talk shit. We want to act like we're so fucking badass. No, we're a bunch of retards, dude. We're in a zoo. We're a bunch of retards in a fucking zoo, and it's ridiculous.
Now let me tell you what Rudolph Steiner says about that.
Tell me.
That we are actually more intelligent. He's not saying that we have downgraded. Humanity's downgraded a lot, like since Atlantean times and stuff like this. But right now, and not even saying that intelligence is a good thing. We say everything intelligence because there's a lot of bad things about intelligence because it makes you materialize everything. You know, it takes all the magic and love out of it.
We step out of soul and into
So we are actually more intelligent than ever, but we don't have the wisdom. And not only that, we don't have the atavistic memories. You see, back in the day when you were born, you had all the memories of your father, your great-grandfather, your great-grandfather. You had all this life experience. I mean, you could do no wrong. It's like your ancestors were living in you. You know what I mean? You had all that wisdom.
Yeah.
Now we're stripped of all that. And then we're just given this one thing that we have to bow down in front of it, intelligence. Oh, intelligence, it's everything, you know. And they can't even measure that. You know, the thing is, they can really only measure certain types of intelligence. They cannot measure artistic intelligence. You know, they can only measure like math intelligence and like just certain types of intelligence that are made to like, you know, do chemistry and shit like that. You know, that's why those IQ tests, man, they're not. I mean, it can definitely tell if somebody's a genius, but only like one certain kind of genius. So 99,000 other different types of geniuses, it doesn't even register. You know what I mean?
Right, man. And it's a trip, man. It fucks with my capacity to blend into society. You know what I mean? Like to be a successful person in this world.
What does your mindset or your what?
Primarily, I'd say well, yeah, sure. It's all neuro, dude. It's all stuff I could probably reprogram.
Yeah, it's all programming. Yeah, self-programming. A lot of it too. Yeah.
Yeah, and fuck that victim shit, dude. I'm not about that.
You're right, but it's not.
But I don't fit in with people, bro. I don't fit in with people in the country. I'm in the country. I need to get out of here, dude.
Yeah, you do.